Ako like, hey, me have not seen nyash like this.
Booty like, hey,
Huyu kwanza ako na nywele refu, na ni natural, na haina
naina
chemical.
chemical.
Gosh.
I feel like that's the one for me.
Triple combo. And then now he just has to come and console himself with it.
You know, you start trying to plan each other's breakups. You know,
Exactly.
you start plotting the end of your relationship with this person. Unaanza kumpanga. Kila kitu ni fight.
And I feel like you're very manipulative during these years.
Very.
Because you're going to warp the reality until it fits
what you want.
So you're going to do everything. There's no one as ambitious as a 17-year-old.
Never
a
ever.
16-year-old.
Never ever.
Ambitious and manipulative
Never
and will
ever.
get their way at the end of the day.
Welcome. My name is Kathomi.
Look how far we've come.
Goddamn.
My name is Turi Faye in season 2.
What's up?
Tuko na series, guys. Please subscribe. I beg of you. I am on my knees. Okay. I will be on my knees. Please subscribe.
Yeah, please subscribe to the channel. Follow us on all social media platforms at 2baddiesKE on Instagram, on TikTok, and obviously on YouTube, right?
Yeah.
Let's get right into it. I feel like this is a first love edition for the lovers in the house. Another one for the ladies. And I think you had a different approach to it, so I'm keen on seeing how you were thinking about it.
I feel like my approach was why first loves don't work. Why the first love of your life? You're not married to him now. You're not married to that girl anymore. And the thing about me, I'm a lover girl. Jamani mimi nikikupenda, nimekupenda ni hivyo. Nakuwa zuzu, nakuwa mjinga yani. So yeah, I've always been a lover girl, especially with friendships. But anytime there's a romantic aspect to it, me, I fall in love. Mimi mtakuja kuniokota. So I feel like, and my first experience was very intense.
Right.
You know, I knew this was the love of my life. We're going to be together forever. And because I was a good Christian girl, my first love happened when I was in uni. That's
okay.
right. That's right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and I really, really liked this guy. And even the way we broke up, we didn't like actually break up. We just stopped talking. But it hurt because I truly loved this man. And then the other day, he texted me on TikTok. It was a very casual conversation. It was like 3 a.m. It was like, why you up? You know, like how TikTok informs the other person that you're online. You know, so it was like so and so is online. So he DMs, he's like, hey, why you up so late? And I'm like, oh, I'm just chilling, blah blah blah. K-dramas. And he's like, oh, okay, I'm just gaming, and I just got home from going out with my friends. Just a very weirdly casual conversation. I'm just like, we've seen each other naked.
I've seen your parts.
What's this? Why are you acting brand new? But yeah.
I mean, at least you remember your first love fondly, and you guys are still in contact. I do not know where you are, Thayo Mapesa Bobby. Bobby Mapesa.
Thayo?
What was his second name?
Thayo ni full name, yeah?
Is that why we don't like Kamau on this show? It's called Thayo Kamau. This is Thayo Kamau. Anywho,
Thayo sounds very fancy. Short form ya nini?
It was just Thayo.
Mathayo, okay.
Thayo, he never had an English name.
Oh.
Yeah, he only had Kikuyu names. So yeah, he was one of those rich kids, and I was a brokey. Like we were from different parts of life. They were
from
rich.
The other side of the tracks.
Other side of the tracks. They were super rich. They had this big ass mansion. Like they were living la vida loca and whatever. Me on the other side, I was on the rough side of the streets and whatever. But yeah, we fell in love. I don't even remember how we met. Honestly, I can't remember. But I was like super young. I was probably like just about got into high school, I think. Hey, but that man gave me butterflies. Wow. First love. Everything is so intense. Everything is so Yeah, so yes, Thayo Mapesa, I have no idea where he is, honestly. And the way we broke up was like mad weird because I think he had we dated for like 5 years, so all through high school. But he'd also been dating this other girl who he met in his school at Aga Khan for 2 years out of the 5 years we were together. But I only found out this information once we broke up, right? it was just messy as hell. My mom hated him. Huyu kwanza nilimwona sijui juzi na msichana mwingine hapo. And then you're like, Mom, you don't want our love to flourish.
You don't care about us.
We will survive everything.
You don't know our love.
It was so intense. Like, honestly, all the cliche things. Like, yeah, we're gonna be in love forever, whatever. But he started being weird towards the end. But yeah, honestly, I thought that was going to be the love of my life forever and ever. But I was so wrong. I was so wrong. Now, I think the one thing that causes most of these relationships not to work is, like, for mine, it was absolute inexperience and immaturity. Like that, the idea that you feel like you're going to be with this person forever, and like it's the first and the last. Also, why are we always trying to get married so young?
And
What's the deal?
By then, I knew this was my husband.
Like, why am I marrying you at 16? What are we marrying each other
and when
for?
I'd mention it to him, because I am serious about this relationship, it would kind of sort of weird him out.
Yeah.
Because I'd be like, husband, and just...
Husband at 16, surely. Why we have husbanding? Like, what is this? That was so weird. And then the immaturity of like spending every waking thought with this person. Like, you would sleep on the phone. You would wake up to the phone. I remember those are the days when you used to get these two bundles for Safaricom where they give you like they give you offers. But then there was also like other telcos, and we had like you remember you?
Yes.
You used to give you used to be like
you
10
was
bob.
Airtel before it was Zain.
You were Airtel Mezurura. You're in hose.
You Zain Airtel.
Airtel. So you used to give you this bundle where you spend 10 bob and you'd have like unlimited talk time. Like 10 bob, and you can talk until your jaw drops. And so that used to be like, you would have so many SIM cards just so that you have one so you can talk to your man all the time.
That's poverty, man.
It's crazy as hell.
Loving on a budget.
And then he would always send me airtime because he was a rich kid. So when I don't have airtime, he would send me airtime. Just so, like, when you talk to someone, you're like, oh, my airtime has run out. They're like, okay, hang on. Send you airtime for you to call them back. Like, I'm just like... What was that even? Like, surely, like, we didn't have anything else to do with
so
our lives.
romantic. Mtu kutumia airtime ya 100 bob.
Imagine. Okay,
that was
so
peak romance.
Good. And the first time he introduced me to his sister, I was so nervous. So she used to work at Pizza Inn, ile town, hapo, unaijua hiyo, as her after school like activity. Like them, they were so bougie. Yani mpaka you knew after school you get a job. Mimi. Heniuzu. So yeah, I was meeting her. He bought me ice cream, and we sat down together, and I'm just panicking because I can see her. She was freaking gorgeous. I don't think I've ever seen a woman that beautiful in my life still. She was beautiful. So I was always like, oh my God, am I even going to be, she's going to accept me as the in-laws? I'm just like, in-laws at 17? What's your problem? It was so nonsense things. Like, why are we spending hours talking on the phone? Like, don't we have other things to do? Walking in the middle of the night. Alafu tunasimama hapo kwa fence. Mnaketi chini mpaka usiku mnaangalia moonlight, and then you're like, oh, nonsense. Tulikuwa tunatembea Kabulu, man. No wonder I was skinny as fuck. Because we used to walk for
But I was skinny because of the walking.
You would
walking around with boys.
Mnazunguka, mnafika nyumbani anasema, okay, I miss you so much. I miss you too. Okay, one more lap.
Anakusindikiza,
mnafika nyumba saa 6 usiku. That was so immature. So I think that was one of the reasons. And then he had such weird ideologies as well, because like immediately after high school he said this weird thing. He's like, when you're super young, you're supposed to, we get pregnant right now. And I'm like, I'm 19. He's like, yeah, let's get you pregnant now so that we can raise the babies, and then by the time you're like 22 in your working years at your prime, you're not worrying about children. And I'm just like,
what? Huh? What do you mean?
It made sense, though. It made sense because you've raised your kid now. Now you have all the time to now work and pursue your career and whatever. I'm like, that made sense to me, but it was so entrapment. That was entrapment. This nigga wanted me to get pregnant. First of all, we're not even sleeping with each other. How am I getting pregnant?
And that's the thing with these relationships. They were never sexual. Even when I said I saw this guy crazy, that's because I gave him a hand job.
Never. Like, you're just making out for hours. Like, what are we doing?
Like, me tell you about that
So
kaboy.
immature.
Okay, now I have had a lot of first love experiences. Let me just let me just
Wow.
tell y'all.
Wow.
Let me just tell y'all. I haven't been around the block, but I've kissed a
But
few
you've
people.
kissed a few.
I've kissed a few people. Now we're in uni, you know. For whatever reason, so after high school, I wanted to do my CPA at Strathmore. Yani, of all places.
Overachievers.
Nikasema nitaenda
Strath.
Strathmore. Okay, so here I am, a poor girl. Okay, what do you? Yeah, compared to my
the boy.
classmates, I was the Muhavi. Oh, I was the M-Pesa Kid Foundation.
Wow.
So anyway, this kid in second year starts hitting on me, and he has a car. Sijui he lives on Kiambu Road, blah blah blah. Initially, I didn't really like him, but he had pursued me for so long, and then he'd make this grand gestures. So now on my birthday, he showed up to the STC, to the cafeteria. With this box of. Street had a bracelet, and it had cake, and it had chocolate in front of everybody.
Everyone.
So this person has low-key claimed you, yeah?
Yep.
When you get to school, when you get to class, he comes to my class every morning to say hi. So even your classmates cannot katia you or nothing because you've been claimed.
He's been blocking it.
But now he was so short. He was. But now I've already been claimed. Santa do.
It's one of those relationships. You're like, okay, fine. We're not in a relationship, but like, okay.
See, we go with the flow then.
It is
Might
what it
as
is.
well. And then he used to do this, what he thought it was, it was him being generous, where he'd drop me off to town every day after school. Ilikuwa inasaidia, by the way, kudropiwa tao kila siku alafu, ilikuwa ina save fare. Anyway, fast forward, he'd take me to a friend's house on Kiambu Road. Fridays we didn't have classes. A friend's place on Kiambu Road. Alikuwa naomba room. Oh gosh. And then we would make out the whole afternoon. Just dry humping. Just
First love is so useless.
just dry humping and kissing. A whole afternoon.
Hours upon hours.
No water, no nothing. It's no food, no snacks.
You all are just there.
Just sore lips and dehydration. And then, for whatever reason, he used to be into hickeys. Okay?
Oh, ew.
So now he'd always give me a hickey.
To mark you
Unajua mimi mtoto wa
completely.
bishop, mtoto wa deacon,
Oh
deaconess.
God, now you have to wear a scarf.
Baba yangu ni elder wa PCMF. My God, amevaa koti ya red. And Sunday I have to go to church and I had a scarf on. It was a hot as Sunday.
So hot.
Lakini nimevaa scarf because nikitoa watapiga nduru.
Shida, maswali.
Yani I bruise so easily. So now it's like a aki purple, red over here.
Yeah.
That's a very you know that idea of that fantasy of your boyfriend and girlfriend, you're supposed to do these things.
Yeah.
You're supposed to make out.
Yeah.
You're supposed to act like a
It's
dog.
like a script.
So we were
yeah.
playing out this fantasy
role,
of
yeah.
what we thought
love would be and what it looks like.
being in
and
a
whatever.
relationship is.
Yeah.
And that was disgusting.
It's so immature.
Sasa tungepata accident tuko Kiambu. Ningeambia
Ungesema
mama yangu
umefanya nini Kiambu?
niko Kiambu kwa nyumba ya mtu.
Wacha hivi uko Kiambu akudrop town ndio uende Wangige. Sikia huko benye ni mbali.
Niende Waithaka.
Waithaka, sorry.
Imagine cross country for saliva.
And dry humps.
Imagine dry
they were
humping,
so-
saliva. You know, like you'd get home, you just have like a funk, because you know, like saliva has that smell, like dry.
Yeah.
Yeah, because he's just been kissing you, and he was a wet kisser.
Ugh, good. And then those first kisses actually are not even that great.
Because you don't know what you're
Because
doing.
you do not know what you're doing.
You've seen something in the movies.
Even now I have an insecurity because the first the first person he told me that I have a lazy upper lip, and now I am so insecure about my lazy upper lip.
What should your lip be doing?
Like,
when
what
you're
is
kissing?
your,
I
it's
thought
like,
the purpose is only like the lower lip that should.
right? But like he said, I have because he was like, he kept switching. I'm just like, my upper lip doesn't move like. No, I'm so insecure about my upper lip.
You have a lazy upper lip.
Like, what is that even?
That's
What the fuck is that even? Up until now, a grown adult, I'm still insecure about my upper lower, my upper. Hey, mama, my machine book. Shindwe. Jackson Kangebe. Anyway, this was my high school love. Now, hey, that one was also very intense. Guy.
That's
No, see, I've broken up with Dayo Kamau because I found out
Dayo wants to impregnate you.
Dayo wants to impregnate me, and he has a girlfriend, and he started smoking, and me, I'm a church leader. Mimi kwanza crusade tuko huko tuna banjuka tu ruka juu
Wajua Saturday ilikuwa kwenda ya kulala
shaka ina
choreography.
glory imeshuka tuko huko
Sisi tulikuwa tunaitwa youth. Tulikuwa youth.
Crusade.
Youth wa kanisa. Tunaenda kudance. Kupanga viti.
Na kuamka asubuhi kuosha church. What do you mean? I was such a church. Me, Aki, the Lord has... it is what it is.
Lord.
So now, me, Tayo Kamau is a smoker. I've told him, you either quit smoking or we are done. And Tayo Kamau...
Ultimatum.
Kumbe mimi... I am the one blocking his glory. Juu wako huko wana smoke na girlfriend yake wa Aga Khan wakikulanga miraa.
Gosh.
So Mimi, I think Aliona, first of all, I'm not putting out. That's one. Number two, this other girl is putting out. She's coming all the way from where she used to live to come to visit him. Wanna spend the whole weekend huko kwao. So that, they're doing what they need to do. So basically, I was like, deuces come out. Now, I met Jackson Kangebe. What's up, Jackson? Hi, do we still talk? No, we don't talk. Now, Jackson Kangebe was very intense. Jackson was not my type at all. At all. You know, the way just someone is just not your type. But like everyone in school is making like a whole thing, It's like, oh my God, he has such a crush on you. He's been telling me to come and tell you. So, akona kabeshte, kanakuja kananiambia, oh my God, he was talking about you the whole day. Sasa, I feel pressured to date Jackson.
But there a lot of the relationships you're in when you're young,
it's just pressure.
Yeah. Amefanya kikitwa na ameambia watu.
Sasa uko like, damn
Gosh.
it. God damn it. Here we are now. Now Jackson. Hey, but he was so intense. It's like he was so freaking intense. It felt like an adult relationship, but we're still in high school, bruh. Can you like calm down? So Jackson Kangebe was a very intense relationship. And he now was the other version of, I don't know why everybody wanted to marry me. What was going on? So even him, every time his family comes for visiting day, he's introducing me as his wifey. I'm just like, child, we're children. How am I your wife? He's like, yeah, after high school, I'm going to marry this girl. I'm like, wait. So those relationships were they felt so intense and they were always just such, and you could do, a lot of people got pregnant straight after high school, by the way. A lot of the girls that I went to school with, they all got pregnant after high school because of the same nonsense. Now you're out of high school, you can do whatever, you have your own time and stuff like that. Others started seeing Tua Babas and then they all got pregnant. Because it's yo chochana, mna chochana, I'm dating this guy, is giving me money, blah, blah, blah. Now you're pregnant. Now you are a mother. What now? Anyway,
and I don't know why we used to really fetishize becoming a wife very young.
Yes.
It was a thing, but then even like in our hometown, like where I grew up, there was just that, it's like an accomplishment to
be
start
someone's
a family.
wife.
And I'm just like,
wow. You're 18, bruh.
Don't you want to do something different?
Do you not like want to have like a career, like explore? I don't know.
After Uganda, like
just
travel.
leave the country. I don't know. It's like you've come from your mother's house to your boyfriend's house. Now what are we doing? Surely, what are we doing? But hey, to each their own. So I think even that idealization of these things, like that's another reason why these relationships didn't work. We had these ideals of not just the kind of romantic partner you wanted, but the kind of life you wanted for yourself, And if this person had these few markers of what you thought you had seen on Telemundo is what happens, like a girl, you will suffer, so you're from a poor background, he's from a rich background, and he will do anything for you, and then eventually you get married and you have babies. Those were the ideals we used to have. And so obviously, as you're trying to carry out, just like you've said, you're making out for hours because that's what you think people are supposed to do in relationships.
And dry
humping because that's what you think is supposed to be done. Like if you were told do it now, you wouldn't even know what to do. It's like your friends are like, yeah, I've already had sex. You're like, what does it feel like? What is it? And people will give you these grandiose things of like how they felt and whatever. All lies, only for you to grow up and find out that orgasms are so rare in women. Like how many women?
Orgasm from penetration
It's
is
just, yeah, penetrative orgasm in women is like a task. Like yes, Jota, because there's so many factors. Your penis is going up this way. My G spot is na huku chini. Tutapatania wapi, my
alafu
God?
mtu educate anakwambia come for me.
You're like, what does that even fucking mean? Like what do you mean? Like, so you have all these ideas.
Should I summon it? I understood that.
Like, what is that?
Looking at me is like, come for me, babe.
You know, for men it's different. We can tell when you're about to, because you announce it. It's okay. Nothing wrong with it. Love it, by the way. At least I know what angles to pull. However,
Angles.
yeah.
Oh.
Sikuna tule tu.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Acha tutoke kwa hiyo story.
Ehe.
Close that chapter. Come back to now new, young, and confusing experiences. So like these, you know, you have all of these things that you assume, what you've seen on porn, like people are moaning in a certain way, so you're just doing it. As in, it's almost. Wapiga tu kwa mayowe. Usikiangalia na scream. You saw that girl? There's a girl on TikTok.
What is she?
Hey, she has this punda mode. Like, this sounds like a donkey. I'm like, what the hell is that? What is that?
What are we doing? What are we doing? Huh? Like, have you just like paused middle and like, okay, that was unnecessary. Oh? Or somebody just told you, hey, relax, okay?
Yeah, you're doing too much.
You're doing too much.
You do too much.
Hey.
Or like the first time you are giving what do you call it? Let's call it fellatio. The first time you're filleting someone, hey, you're over there biting them and shit. And this person is assuming that this is how it's supposed to feel. And that's why so many men have trauma because someone bit them.
Because you know, like,
Or
in
they
porn,
tell you it has to be sloppy. You look over there.
like this is what they show in videos.
In blue films, yeah.
So now you're just being aggressive.
Aggressive as fuck. No, this after time, yeah.
And when he has a ritual, like, you're like, oh yeah,
You're like,
okay.
yes, it's working.
No, he's dying.
He's in pain. Leave that poor man alone. Like, you want to do it again? No, thank you. Between being young, there are just so many things that you think are right, and you idealize all of these things, and you're trying to, like, you know, play all of those things at the same time in one relationship, and that is a lot of pressure. Like, that's a lot of pressure to put in one cooker. It's going to erupt. So oftentimes those ideals that we have, the notions we have, these grand gestures you have, they tend to, you know, make you do things at a rate that you shouldn't. And just like whenever you'd hear your parents telling you things like, "Ay, wanaume ni wengi, you will have a relationship later, just focus in school." Like, you used to think about those things and you're like, she just doesn't want me to. Honestly, whoa, all these things are true.
Me, baby, I'd like the men that my mother used to say that they will be lining outside my door when I'm older.
You want to see them? Where is this?
I want to see them.
Where is this list?
Anyway, but another reason why, like, those first loves don't work is because of you guys can't communicate effectively.
Oh, absolutely.
There's a lot of ego going on. There's a lot of misinformation. There's a lot of inexperience. So even if something happens, you're like, hey, please, I don't like suffering. I'm out. I'm done. Or, unfortunately, if you came from a background where
suffering is the norm.
Suffering is
normal.
You become now a suffering servant. I'm a stick beside you. You're a drunkard. I will fix you. You're borrowing money. I will give to you. You're doing all of this. So I think your background plays a lot into into your early 20s and, you know, late teenager years, into how those relationships occur.
Yeah.
The way you were raised, kama mama yako ni wakuvumilia.
Utavumilia.
Utakuwa understanding girlfriend. Or kama uliona hii understanding kusema, this is suffering.
Never.
Sasa utakuwa boss queen. Utakuwa boss
for sure.
And I remember, like, so now, okay, I really liked this boy. siwezi sema jina yake, but anyway, this
I'm
is
a snitch on all your
after I chatted with that short vampire. So sorry, tumechana short vampire, but me I had clocked this guy from ever since forever, but sasa ka short vampire skaliingilia story, yani beti kauma nje. Sasa nikasema okay, but me I still know the goal. Okay, nilikuwa nimemark, so finally nika capture, hey, I really like this guy, and then he was tall. Oh my god. But now I've finished CPA, and tulikuwa tunafanya that gap year, and then now you're sent letters to where you've been posted in university. Wacha waniambie wamenituma Eldoret. Na love of my life ako Strathmore. Na kuna classmate yake mwingine anamwangalia, anajitanga BFF, but hakuwa BFF. This girl was in love with my man. Okay, she really loved my man. She wanted to be the girlfriend. So me, I was already insecure about that going on. They are older. They are in third year, second year, third year.
Yeah.
This girl is very loud about the fact that she really likes this guy, but this guy calls her BFF.
Friend zone.
So me already najua kuna competition that is better than me. Alafu ndo hawa wamenituma Eldoret. Can you see the way the universe is conspiring against
you?
My love.
What
Sikuwa
a shame.
nakula. Naanza ku-research how to transfer credits to Nairobi University so that I can stay with my love.
You can stay near your love.
It didn't work out, so I was posted to Eldoret, went to Eldoret. But now, the way I was feeling, it's like I can become nonchalant. Yani, the flow was not there. And then, like, distance plays
a huge
role in your relationships.
Yep.
And we were just too young to be in a long distance relationship. And you know, akikosa kureply, najua tu amekaa na huyo BFF yake. Huyo shetani amekuja kuvunja ndoa yangu. You know, that was my husband.
Your man.
That was my man. So now, like, one day, out of frustration, I just wrote him a text and was like,
hello,
I want to break up because I don't think it's working, and you know, so and so is over there, and I know you guys like each other, so you might as well be with her. No. See, you know, those tantrums you cause so that you can be assured.
Yeah.
So somebody can say, no, baby, it is you. Hey, alisema okay, nikasema guy,
what did I do?
Hey, walinivunja spinal cord. Waliniwacha nimevunja mtu. Wiki mzima sikukula. Nilikuwa nashangaa. Na kati wasema, hey, guy, wow. Naingia Instagram, wamekuwa na group photo, sijui class yao. Wamesmile. Hawana heartbreak. So you know do you know this guy introduced me to his family? This is an already delusional girl who's like, I'm dating you because I'm marrying you because you're my future husband. And then I was his +1 to his cousin's wedding. Yani, introduced me to the family, introduced me to the cousin we follow each other on social media, we're still friends with the cousin. Just come, Lord. Just come, Jehovah. Yani, whole family introduction. That was the first time I'd been introduced to a family.
You feel so special.
Uzobe, adi niliomba jacket. Ndo ningare, nilikuwa nimevaa ka dress, ka very cute, alafu ka koti. Because our style was business casual. If you don't have a coat, you're doing it wrong.
You're doing something wrong.
So I had my dress and my short coat.
Yeah. Bolero.
Na handbag. Ilikuwa official coat, lakini ilikuwa bolero.
Okay.
Alafu it was that ka tweed material.
Okay.
Nilikuwa nimengara
Very
kuruka.
classy.
Alafu nikifanya hivi nywele. Nimeshika.
Rihanna.
Nimeflatten hivi, nikagonga hivi.
Nobody can touch you.
Nikaenda kwa sitamkaren harusi. Yeah. Just come out. First love is so deluded. But we just didn't have the capacity to communicate effectively and say what we wanted in that moment.
And ideally, what do you know about communication?
Exactly.
Like even people in their 30s, their 40s, they've been married for a long time, are still struggling with communication, and communication issues are actually the biggest plague in most marriages and relationships. So what do you know, 19-year-old you? What maturity do you have to have and then you know the thing is, you're always trying to play with each other's egos at that moment in time. it's like, oh, I'll tell him this so he can tell me this, and then it's like you're already rehearsing how the conversation is going to go in your head. And if even one thing doesn't go right, if he says one word that is like that is contrary to what you thought he would say or what she would say, that's a breakup. That's a breakup. That man is cheating on you.
You don't love
that
me.
man is cheating on you. And then the lies in between here, like you're always making such huge sacrifices. Oh, you have to borrow Sri here so you can go and meet him on this date. Like there's no honesty of, hey, babe, I don't actually have money right now.
You
Can
don't
we
wanna be
try?
judged.
Yes, there is so much ego is at play, and you're learning so much about yourself. It's like it's an almost impossible situation. If you end up with the person that you actually were in high school with, y'all need to write a book.
Y'all
because
stuck together. I'd like to know by the way.
I would really genuinely
how
want
that
to know
works out.
how it works out, because most of these relationships, things change, now you have children, you're no longer dealing as friends, and it's so complicated. These people who get married and have long-term relationships after uni, after first love, hey, that's crazy. If you've married your first love, please let us know how it's going. I would really like to know. Now, another thing about these relationships and why they don't last is because there's so much growth that happens after.
Yeah.
Now you've gone to these, your Munomba Rumu, Kiambu Road, and now you're at a point where you're like, yeah, no, I'm not gonna come all the way to stay at your friend's house for like 2 hours, and then I have to go all the way back home. Either I need to find a place of my own, or you need to find a place of your own, and this person is not in a position to do it, or they still are idealistically wanting to stay at their parents' home. Hapo mnapata kuna kashida, because you're growing and maturing faster than this other person. For example, you want to pursue your education in a different country, you've gotten an opportunity, and this person is like, pana, you either move with me, and this happens a lot, especially with those new relationships. Either
You can't
move
go
with
there.
me to the different country, or we're done. It's like, dude, you can still go pursue your education and then come back. I can still go pursue my education and then come back. Like, there's so many things that can be done, but because of that, your personal growth is almost like a threat to this other person. It feels like you're growing out of them, you're growing out of what is comfortable and normal for you, and it becomes very difficult for these relationships to cross that threshold once one person has grown in any capacity, in a personal growth way. Once there's any change in one person, it just becomes like a thing of, this is not possible, right? It's impossible for you to go backwards, and it's impossible for them to get to you. So it just becomes like a stumbling block that you can't then go
And it's
past.
pretty common, because even I have experienced that,
Yeah.
where we're already comfortable. What we have going on is working.
Yeah.
It is good. And then this one person throws in a wrench into an already working motor by saying something like, I want to go study in Australia. And I'm like,
Hey, Australia tena.
kwani UN hawana hii course? Nini unaenda huko kufanya? But it all comes from that fear of, I'm
Losing
going
this
to lose
person.
this person.
Yeah.
They're becoming, they're working on themselves. But now when you're older, when your partner has an opportunity, you're happy for them.
You're excited, yeah.
And if you have any interesting emotion, you're like, maybe this is me being called out. Maybe this is
yes,
a
it's more
chance for me
introspective than it is an
do
outward
something
knee-jerk
better,
reaction. Yeah.
I remember my partner exploring the idea of working outside of the country, and immediately I was like, oh,
Whoa.
why?
Whoa.
Because I was like, no, I'm gonna lose you. You're going to go away. You'll never come back. We will never hear from you. We have had this story.
Yep.
But then I was like, okay. First of all, I'm
It's an
excited for this person.
opportunity,
That's a
yeah.
huge opportunity. And second, why am I having this demonic feeling? Okay, what is this? Why am I
reacting
exactly?
this way? Yeah.
So what is it about me that I need to work on so that I feel like, you know what, we are both growing. We're both going towards the same direction.
Yeah.
Is it my career? Do I need
No.
to change it? Do I need to, do something different? These things.
It's very
You
introspective.
can only think like that when you're older.
when you're older and you're grown and you have a lot more experience, because you go through so many weird little relationships. Some are super short, some are super long, but at the end of the day, you learn something new with every new relationship. I remember I met my husband now when I was really really young. I was 20, 21, and he was obviously not 21. So basically, I remember having this conversation, and I was like super mature. I was working, I was doing my thing. I was working at a Kayad in Karen. I've already told you this story like a million times. I was working in Karen at a Kayad. Basically, he assumed that you're older. Look at you. You're starting to figure out life and whatever. And when I told him I was 21, he's like, yeah, no, that's not gonna work. That's not gonna work. And I'm like, no, why wouldn't it work? He's just like, yeah, you have so much living to live, and I don't want to be the person to stop you from living. And I was like, yeah, no, I don't, no, I have lived my life. I know what I want. I want to settle down at 21. Like, what do you even know? And at that moment, I met that comment with a lot of why you look, do I feel it, am I too immature for you, like what is it about me that has made you feel like that? But like later on, because yeah, we parted ways later on when we now linked up, it's like I had so much more insight on life, what I wanted to do, than I did, and I would never have done that if I was in an actual long-term relationship at 21. So I understood where he was coming from, and that insight, that foresight for him would again only have come if he had also experienced these things that he wanted me to go out there and experience. You know what I mean? There's so many things, like my career would probably have been very different. Like so many things about me would have been different if I settled down that early. So it's important for you to also like accept when you're still young to just live your life like a kid. Just be young. When you're young, be young. You will get to a point where all these things will make sense, but for now, just be young. Live YOLO.
Allow yourself to experience your age.
Yes.
Act your age.
Yes.
And I mean that quite literally.
Yes.
If you're 19, act
Be
19. If you're 40, act 40. If you're
'cause
70,
please.
act 70. That's all we're saying.
Yeah.
But another thing is, like when you've been with somebody ever since you were young, when you're straight out of high school, and this is now your boyfriend. And he's the love of your life, you're going to marry each other, blah, blah, blah. But now as time goes on, you're out here in the world, hey,
Unaanza kuona guy.
watu wana shine, watu wako attractive, unasema, kwani huyu alikuwa wapi? Yani, unaingia hivi, unapata tall, dark and handsome, unasema. Alafu awa shining, pia hao wanakuona, wanasema, wow. Sasa unaanza, like those early years is when you have those overlaps.
Yep.
Oh,
for sure. Oh, there's so many overlaps in relationships. So many.
I'm not quite sure if I had finished dating him when I started dating you.
This one.
And the beauty of all of this is 9 times out of 10 it's never sexual.
Nope.
It's still the abuju. It's still, I've texted you from my mom's phone.
My mom's phone.
Please don't reply. So there's a lot of overlap because you are exploring.
Yeah.
You are finding new people. You are, getting new
realizing
experiences.
Your taste changes.
You're going for Bible camp and realizing, kumbe watu wa hii parish
wanakuanga warembo hivi.
Parish yetu wamechapa. Sijui ni hame, ni change location. As in, you just find, you're like, hey, maybe this is not for me.
Yeah.
And even as you're experiencing this,
the other person is experiencing
your boyfriend
is
experiencing the
same thing.
I'm like, hey, me have not seen nyash like this.
Booty like.
Huyu kwanza akona nywele refu, na ni natural, na haina
chemical.
Gosh.
I feel like that's the one for me.
Triple combo. And then now he just has to come and console himself with you.
You start trying to plan each other's breakups.
Exactly.
You start plotting the end of your relationship with this person. Unaanza kumpanga. Kila kitu ni fight.
And I feel like you're very manipulative during these years.
Very.
Because you're going to warp the reality until it fits
what you want.
Yeah. So you're going to do everything. There's no one as ambitious as a 17-year-old.
Never
a
ever.
16-year-old.
Never ever.
Ambitious and manipulative
never
and will
ever.
get their way at the end of the day. So those are very interesting experiences.
Yeah, that first
a Bible
love.
Camp. Mimi nilikuwa na falling in love every holiday.
New man.
Every holiday tukienda camp najua tu.
Who is this?
Yes.
Who is this?
Tumefika. Very nice.
Now, another issue that I've seen a lot with these relationships, and I'm going to read this verbatim, lack of long term compatibility. Like, you love this person, but it's just like all the things coming together. Your ideals are different. The way you see love, we uliona ya K-drama, yeye aliona ya Telemundo. Very different. The way you are experiencing personal growth, you're experiencing your own, they're experiencing their own. Very different. The way you are, like, you know, even the other external factors, like your parents don't like this person, and now they're telling you, no, you can't
Forbidden
date.
love.
You're forbidden from
kwanza
seeing
hiyo
this
ina
person.
chacha.
Sana. You're not their type. They want you to marry into this family because, you know, that family mnajuana, sijui tangu ke, sijui KKK. Like, all of these things, you start to realize, hey, by the way, it's going to be really difficult for us to be compatible because you've moved schools, you've gone to a different school, they've gone to a different school. You now have new passions. They're a gamer. You want to write. You have different, you know, the time that you had so much of, and you'd spend hours and hours talking to this person. You no longer have that anymore. You have so many things that you have to do. You've gone for CPA classes. Huyu mwingine ameenda driving school na computer classes, akona assignments, anakuja. You went to university for hospitality management. Then they went to university for economics. You have nothing in common. Like, nothing about your courses is, you know, like you grow apart because of all of these factors. And so you start to realize, yeah, this is not going to work out. You become a super Christian for some reason because you went to school, university, and you found that there was a group, and then they are very Christian. Wanakuanga Bible study every other Friday. Sasa utafanya nini? Na boyfriend yako yeye na yeye alienda campus yao wakapata kila nini, wanakuanga somewhere they're drinking and smoking and having a good old time clubbing. Like, you start to just drift apart because you've become such different people. And there's nothing wrong with that. The compatibility just does not work out simply because there's so many things you're experiencing. You're growing older. You know, they realize, when nikikujua ulikuwa na flat chest, saizi you're wearing a double D cup, and I've never liked girls with big titties. I didn't even know that until now. Me, I like nyash. You see, they're just like, yeah, no, you're not my type anymore. You've become a different person. So you end up finding that your compatibility just goes back to zero. So it becomes difficult to date that person long term.
True,
and
true,
first love cannot work out that way.
And some of them are just like Romeo and Juliet situation. As soon as my dad accused me of seeing him and being in a romantic relationship with him, this boy became so attractive. And let me tell you, I did most of the pursuing because I wanted him. I wanted to know. Ni nini hii uko nayo wazazi wangu hawatendi. Yeah, so I feel like parents also play a big role into how their children's love lives are going to play out. 100%. If you're one of those who is accuse and shout and punish before you get to know the story, your child will find a sneaky way to do things.
Yeah.
So I feel like always just have an open communication safe space. Your child wants to know something, tell them. Your child wants to come to you with something, no judgment. I'm listening. Tell me what's going on. Be the parent children come to when they're in trouble, or they need help, or they're happy all the time. Just try and be that kind of parent.
Yeah, I think that actually is true, because a lot of the things that I did were very experimental, but because my mom didn't like really force my hand into doing anything, I'd like always tell her when I was trying something new, like, hey mom, I was hanging out with so and so, and I tried to smoke. And she's like, oh, okay, you know, that's not good for you though. You're like, yeah, but what pushed you to doing that? And you're like, I was just curious, you know. And she would tell you all the pros, all the cons of something, and then let you make a decision. And that forced me to become very determined in the things that I would try and do. Oh, I've seen this guy. Oh, I've started seeing this person. I think he's a little older, but I think I'm curious about it. She's like, okay, older guys will do A, B, C, D, E, da, 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 and da, 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 da. And she'll be like, but, you know, what do you think about this whole scenario? And you're like, oh, yeah, actually, that makes a lot of sense. And you just end up not doing it, you know?
Yeah.
Like, if it's anything I did, I would always involve her. And she was always so open to listening to me as opposed to, like, judging me. And she would even laugh at me sometimes. I remember there was this, I had a BFF. what's up, Elvis? Aki, I miss my BFF. Hi, Elvis. Hi. We were so close in high school, and he was one of those, like, he was actually a really good friend. And one time we were on holiday midterms, and he wanted me to go and see Superman. I'll never forget, it was Superman at IMAX. I had never gone to the cinema. Akaniambia, come, I've paid the da. So my mom was supposed to give me fare haya, but ni siku ya Mungu, siku ya the Lord Jesus Christ.
It's Sunday.
Na mimi tulikuwa tumefika mahali tumeongea nikamwambia, me church I make sense kwangu, but you do what you gotta do. So she's like, you know what? She tried to convince me otherwise, but it got to a point where I'm just like, yeah, we argued it out to a point where she's like, you know what? If it's not working for you, it's not working for you. Let me not force my hand. So basically, she was trying to like get me in trouble in church. So mimi nikaenda church, kuendea fair. Si wamemaliza service, naendea church fair. Ma, akwapi mam? Wako huko ofisi ya pastor. Yako ofisi ya pastor. Walikuwa all the elders wameketi hapo. So I'm like, can I please, naita mom? My mom is like, oh, ni wewe, kuja, ebu ingia. So I got in. The pastor is like, oh, we haven't seen you in church for a while. Umekuwa wapi? You're like, it's like, oh, na saizi ingia uende ukasaidia wengine kufanya rehearsals of, I don't even know what. The youth have a meeting or something like that. I'm like, yeah, not now. I'm actually meeting my friend. You're meeting your friend where? I'm meeting my friend in town. We're going to watch a movie. He's like, unaenda movie? Cinema? Nikamwambia, hey. He's like, Shandara baba yoko. Hizo cinema ndio zinapoteza watoto wetu. Can you kneel down here? Let us pray for you. I looked at my mom in the corner of my eye. My mom amecheka. Akoko anaanguka chini. Amecheka. Alafu anachocha. Anasema, shindwe pepo ya kupoteza our youth. Unaenda kuona movie badala ya kuwa church. My mom ameanguka hola kicheko. Anyway, after they prayed for me, all the ribabayokos and shandarababas, and they prayed the demons away, the demon for Superman. Yeah, my mom is like, all right, thank you very much, Pastor. Tukatoka nje akanipatia fare akicheka. She's like, yeah, that's what you get for refusing to come to church. She gave me fare and me, I went my way. I was like, it was so funny, but like your parent being that supportive, even when like everyone else is making all these funny judgments, it allowed for me to become this experimental, spontaneous person. And honestly, I give a lot of credit to how I was raised and how my brother was raised. We're very open-minded, we're kind, we're very level-headed, very logical. Like, I wouldn't do anything just for the fun of it. I will really think about it and try and examine, like, does this suit me? Does this make sense? As opposed to beating all the time, you end up becoming a rebel. I'd probably have been pregnant with maybe 5 kids by now. God damn.
All this just to say, if you're young right now and you think you're in love, maybe it works out. There are first love experiences that really work out. Yeah. But my advice for you is live your life first. Before you start, planning the life you're going to live together with somebody else, live your life. Yeah. You're straight out of uni, straight out of high school, and you're convinced that this is your husband. Have you tried maybe traveling to Tanzania?
Maybe your husband is in Germany.
Have you tried, as in your soulmate cannot be the person from your village.
Doesn't have to be zero grazing. Yeah.
Your soulmate cannot be your neighbor, cannot... classmate ata yo ni karibu pia. Have you tried going to South Africa? As in, give yourself the opportunity to experience other things. Work on your career, save up money, do a Euro tour, even if you have to do the backpacking. Yeah.
Others have done it. Why not
you? Find out your husband is Swedish. As in, utadu. Here you are with Kamau, and your husband is the founder of the new social media app.
Imagine.
Girl,
how will you know?
You better get out.
You better go.
And that's the thing. Don't be so rooted at home.
Zero grazing.
Umeenda university, primary school, hapa. High school,
next.
Hapa. University, hapa chini. Alafu, your first house, hapa next. And then you want to marry your neighbor. Kando. Babes.
Zero grazing. You're not a cow.
Haujatoka Kiambu, ataenda Kisumu, ujue kunaendaga. Usikie story.
Usikie hao Wajaluo wananiwangwa.
Ujue kama ni accusations ama ni ukweli.
Wacha Mkisii huko kidogo.
Mkisii
tafuta mluya huku,
akupeleke Minnesota.
kimbilia
Guys.
no, kisi wengi wako Australia. Wanafanya nini? Walifika aje Australia?
Find out these things. Don't be so stuck at home. This is a call for you if you're watching us right now.
Yeah.
Do everything you can to experience
Mix
life.
up your genes. Mix
Mix
up
it
the
up.
gene pool.
Panda basi,
Kidogo.
anguka Mombasa.
Enda uone kuna kaanga aje
Panda
huko
basi,
Mombasa.
enda Garissa. Hata ujue kuna kaanga aje. Huwezi niambia you're getting married na hata haujatua the country.
Imagine.
Your husband is in the mountain. Ni wa Morema.
Maybe
umekataa
Abdul
kushika.
ako pale nje anakungojea. Na wewe unakimbilia hapa sijui Nyangweso. Kimbia enda uone watu wanakaanga aje huko. Hii nywele inakaa fani.
Investigate.
Inakaanga aje.
Find
Mtu
out.
akiguza inasikika. How does it feel? You know? Try different things.
Your soulmate cannot be from your village, babes.
Impossible.
Hey, we're gonna go home. I hope you love this episode. Please remember to subscribe, to share, to like, to share again. Maybe even your grandmother wants to see this. She wants to travel. Mtumie. Alafu mweke translation. We have a new service coming up for Kikuyu and Meru and Kamba translation.
Don't worry, we got you.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and don't forget to open the notification bell. Turn on the notification bell so anytime we have episodes, you can check them out. And for those who are also curious, we have these episodes on Spotify as well. So go and listen to them if you just want. Kama utaki kuona the whole video,
Utaki
unaweza
kutuona.
enda.
You don't want to see the
Usikilize the voices.
Don't be distracted by the beauty. Just go listen to our voices, babes.
Go enjoy. Live your life. You know, do what you gotta do. But listen and watch anyway. Anyway, we'll see you next week. Same time, same place.
Bye.